Here comes the ball busting. Guys, welcome to Stoney Baloney.
Oh, shit.
He's like, it's my debut, bitches.
Yeah, we have a new host. Absurd Junk Takeover today. Nick Corey in the building. What's up, dog?
Oh, God.
What up, motherfucker?
For having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mr. Ridley.
Appreciate
You
it.
can follow Michael Ridley at...
That's a good
So
start.
that's a sound effect we'll put in.
You came out hard, man. You came out like a fucking...
He came out swinging at a guest that hasn't even been a guest yet. Like we're taking shots at future guests now.
Nick's gonna be
And
a
you know
pro
what?
wrestler after this. He's cutting
like
promos already.
That'd be cool.
Do you have
would be fun, wouldn't
a tool for the
Can
the
you
old
hand that
dibbity
glass tool?
dibbity
to me?
dabbities? Ta-da!
Do you want me to get some more Q-tips?
I've got a few. No.
Okay.
So, how you
I've
been?
been good. I've been home in Rhode Island.
Yeah,
Oh,
took a little
yeah,
trip
yeah,
home.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went home.
Yep.
How was
So
it?
what
It was
is that like all the way home? Like, did you literally go from there to here? Like, is that where you lived your whole life before coming
I lived
here?
in Chicago for 2 years before I moved here.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
That's neat. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Was that comedy related too?
It was improv related.
Nice.
Oh, you do improv?
Too, yeah.
I think we've talked about doing the free class at Fallout on
Yeah,
Thursdays.
let me know. I would do that. I wouldn't pay for improv again. I would do it. I think people should pay for it, but I just don't want to anymore.
Yeah, same page. Yeah, because that's one of those things that I did. Like, I did theater all the way through high school, and then a couple years after, and did improv stuff in between all that. And it was always a lot of fun. But yeah, it's not something that I could put everything into.
Yeah, but you went to a Christian high school, though. So were you just like playing Pontius Pilate in various plays of the reenactment of the fucking story of Christ?
Wait, like an improvisation with Pontius Pilate situation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't have the hair at the time, so obviously.
You were the one who condemned him.
All right.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Do you want to do like an improv real quick of like 3 people from Pontius Pilate's cabinet and being like,
Pontius Pilate's. Did he have a cabinet?
well, equivalent.
Like his.
Yeah, where do you think he kept his dishes?
Yeah.
I figured that.
It's a type of improv. It's like very punny, but
I like the look on your face was like, I'm gonna go with this, but we both know I hate it.
Yeah, that's exactly the look on my fucking face. Most things that come out of your mouth. I do it.
You're welcome.
And before you know it, I'm making fucking dad puns because I hang out with a 40-year-old.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
yeah, that's funny. Like I produced Mason's show too, and
Yeah, so you just like walk around farting and burping all the
well,
time?
yeah, and, like, making fun. I like puns. I think it's fun to play that, but like he's on the level of it. I guess what would be called a dad joke, where it's just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
but like he's not 40.
No,
Yeah.
but also like, here's the thing. He's got all of the like traditional dad personality types, but also I'm like, those kids would die. There's no way his kids would survive. Like there's just no chance of that.
Go on a road trip with Mason.
Have you been on a road trip with him?
Yeah.
Did he offer to drive?
No.
Yeah.
Go on a road trip with Mason. You'll love
Is it silent? Do you get to put music on, or is it his choice the entire time?
I wish music was the issue. I
What's
wish.
that noise?
it. That's the Zenko.
That's the
Make a little brrr. It's the sound your brain makes after you hit it. Brrr.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Well, tasty poo.
Thanks for this water.
Num num.
Good water. You're gonna make that get me. I control the cameras.
Ah, damn it!
I like your shirt, man.
Dude, I was hoping we get to talk about this.
Oh, very. I have not even been paying
You know
attention.
about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
No, I don't.
It is a nutty anime.
Okay.
I would never have thought I'd become an anime person, but boy, oh boy, do I enjoy it.
I've gotten to a couple of them, and then I've watched Cowboy Bebop multiple
I need to
times.
finish that, and that's only like what 12 episodes because it's a very short season.
It's pretty short, yeah. That's like 21 or something, like 26, something like that.
Okay.
But that's one I've watched. I never saw myself getting into the anime, and then I watched that one. And like I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z or like at buddies' houses, you know, on fucking Toonami or whatever, on Cartoon Network when we got out of school in elementary school. But it was never like, I'm going to go watch an anime. It was always something I've seen in like passing.
Right. This is the first time I've been realizing that like I'm being influenced by non-American like
The culture, yeah. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
like all the shows tend to be about like not loyalty but like being driven and like taking an honorable path, and that's not necessarily very American because that's not very.
Oh, that's not very American at all. No.
It's just kind of been cool to be like I want to live like Giorno Joestar. That's just for the JoJo heads out there.
It is interesting that that's all of them that follow our podcast.
Yeah.
That it's interesting because that is like kind of one of the few cultures left that still has that type of value system that's also a successful country.
And slightly racist as well.
Slightly.
Well,
Oh my gosh, Asians are more racist than anybody.
There's it is funny the way that breaks down because like the atrocities of the American history are so great and so recent.
What we did to people?
Yeah, that it's like that's the one that everybody knows, but like the way that all Middle Easterns treat each other, the way that all Asian people treat each other is far worse now than the average of the way that we've treated other people. Like they all hate each other, and it's like we're from like a line in the sand. We're the same thing ancestrally, but I hate you because you're on that side of that line, and I will hate you for all of my days. And it's like culturally accepted. It's a weird thing that we're like.
I think that comes down to like just like old tribalism and like the desire of resources and not enough to go around.
Oh, it all makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah.
You don't feel there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
So it's like I hate you because you're different.
Yeah.
But it's just because I don't want to take care of you. Or like
it gives me the excuse to not have to worry about you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate you because you live on the other side of that river, and I don't want you to build a port here.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
my river.
Yeah.
me to do
This
river
is
stuff.
tasty water for me.
Yeah.
And we've kind of it's also interesting because our country has so much resource that we get to have the luxury of thinking about things like that.
Yeah.
Like that's why we get to deal with racism because we've already dealt with famine. You know what I'm saying? Like it's down the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that because there's racism, then another form of like famine or inequality comes about?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
It's like you
they're
figure out one thing, but then out of that problem comes another.
Yeah, we're people.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Right. Exactly.
so
It's just
good
like
at timing.
it begets. It's kind of like the Bible.
It is like the Bible. It is
So
very much
JoJo's
the
like a
Bible.
Jesus type character.
I mean, Jesus was an honorable person. I mean, like, there's for all the things that like whether or not he was real and everything. Like, as best case scenario, he was a real good person, right?
Okay, so when like a high standing person in Japanese culture comes. Yeah, like ejaculate.
Orgasms.
Like
reaches
busts a nut.
a sexual orgasm.
Would you consider that honorable discharge?
Yeah.
Is that what that would be?
That was funny.
He liked that as much as you hated it, and that makes me happy. For both.
I was gonna like almost be like, oh, well, it depends on the situation. Like maybe not, but now I realize
If he commits harikari immediately afterwards, then what is that?
Yeah. Unless he, impregnated the person, in which case, dishonorable.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
That sounds like a dial tone, which I don't even know if a dial tone still exists anymore.
It does. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, landlines do exist, but
like, does that
a
sound-
dial tone definitely exists.
But like, it's funny because
If you pick up a dial tone at like an office or something like that, it has a dial tone.
because you just dial the number from your phone.
Or it's somebody's house. But who's got a landline at home? If you're at grandma's house and you pick up the fucking landline,
Yeah.
it still buzzes.
Yes.
It does sound like a landline. Do you think if it goes off long enough that I go wah wah wah?
That would be fun.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would like.
Here's what I want to know, and this is a weird fact that I learned recently, and I kind of hate that I learned it. It's a weird fact. It's strange, but Japan recently raised the age of consent from
That's good.
to 16,
Right.
from 13.
Yeah.
What correlation do you think there is between anime and that culture and the age of consent?
Well, I think anime is just an example of what comes when the age of consent and also infatuation of other things is put in place. So the anime is like
Yeah, it trickles down to everything in society. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
expression of it. But I mean, I think you'd look at it like almost in any situation of like any kind of medieval time or where certain times are at where it's like a woman became like had her period and was able to.
Yeah, as soon as you can start making babies,
So, like,
you
at
make
13,
babies. Yeah.
or so, which I don't know when we started.
He's making a strong case for.
No, I don't know when we started thinking.
He's like, let's go back.
Like I wonder, because obviously.
Oh, it's in the last 100 years
Is it when they
that it's
started realizing,
changed.
like,
Right.
brain development, maybe, or something?
Sure, and also when we started, like, again, as cultures progress and as you get to the point where you can deal with things,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Right? So when we got to the point where it was like, we don't need that type of behavior to progress the species anymore, right? Like, we don't need people just fucking everybody they can fuck to make more people. So, like,
Right.
let's calm down with all of that type of behavior. And it, you know,
They had to realize that, like, it was getting harder for women to make babies as they got older, too. Right? Because that happens, like...
Oh, for sure.
over the
Yeah,
30s, 40s.
right.
But then also they might be dying, I mean, in their 40s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of missing...
Or during
information.
labor.
also,
Because of.
also, if you have to have 11 babies to have 5 kids survive, you're going to need to start early.
True.
Right.
You can't start that at 30
Yeah.
and have 11 babies after 30. That's,
It
you
was
know.
It was like an odds. It was game. Like you were...
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you knew like a lot of them weren't going to make it. It's also weird that, like,
I don't have a pussy, but when you said, like, if you want to have 5 babies, you need to have 11, my, like, metaphysical vagina ached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my groin, like, the bone, everything, like, it ached when you said that.
like, oh, 11.
Fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Is that empathy? Is that called empathy?
I think I just
Is this
discovered
what
a new
empathy
emotion.
is? What's happening? Hold on. Did I just learn to respect women? What the fuck? This is a feminist podcast.
It is. It's fine. Like, we're getting there. We're finally getting
I
there.
hope that wasn't the first.
No.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Making babies, you know?
Yeah.
Making babies.
No, yeah, I think that. Yeah,
Do you think
so-
Jeffrey Epstein watched anime? Like, do you think he was a big Cowboy Bebop guy?
I don't know.
I think he was more for, like, making anime. You know what I'm saying? I think that was more his...
I guess I haven't followed it at all. He killed himself, maybe? No, I don't even want to talk about it. Let's move on.
We just got demonetized.
Yeah.
No, you said he did kill himself. That's fine.
Maybe.
You can say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can
I
say
would
things.
dare
Killed himself
speculate.
with a submarine. Is that what you want me to believe?
Was it a yellow submarine?
Injected a submarine into his bloodstream.
With
And it
5G.
exploded, and the oxygen killed him.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever? I remember when I was in the hospital. Have you heard about that? Oxygen is in the tube. And it goes to you. It could kill you. But it has to be a lot of oxygen.
Yeah, it's not just like a little bubble. It's got to be big enough to literally lodge in your
But I remember
like.
seeing it, and like I didn't want to call the nurse, but I was kind of like it was like a high
Like, I'm gonna.
yeah. And I saw it going.
And then you're just like,
moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, you kind of same feeling I do like when I'm like a airplane's landing and like I don't look outside and be like, hold your breath, and you're like, it's gonna happen or it's not. Like,
yeah. Either way.
so what?
Yeah. I
That's
feel
the
I feel
best-
that way about death most of the time.
Hold on. Dude, can I cut you off really quick? What you said about airplanes, though, airplanes, the moment before takeoff is such like, I mean, in the entire airplane ride, it can be such like a meditative, like spiritual fucking thing. Because I've definitely had the first time that I flew like as an adult and by myself, right? Because I had flown like as a kid with my dad and stuff like that. And you really don't like, I don't know.
You don't conceptualize it.
Right, you don't really conceptualize. You're like, airplane, that's cool, right? But, my first time doing it as an adult, I definitely had, like, the jitters and the what ifs, right? And still, every time I fly, you get that what if, especially when you're riding fucking Spirit to Detroit and they take the low lane where all the turbulence is, or whatever the fuck that was.
Is that a thing they do? They like take cheaper routes?
It has to be because it's just like you're through turbulence.
They cut our time off by like 45 minutes.
That's true
like
too.
Airstreams and stuff, I think, right? You get a good airstream.
Yeah, but also like
I'm not trying to disprove flat Earth theory. Right? Don't start bringing up airstreams and shit.
There are pathways that are standard pathways that like you're going from here to here and you'll do this because this is a place where there's uneven pressure or something like that affects it, and they're going through.
It's like Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Because I don't know if there's. It may be the routes are actually cheaper as well, but it's less fuel.
Yeah.
And if you're already a budget company, you're trying to shave every fucking penny you can. Yeah, it was bumpy the whole time.
I love that even like pilots were like, let's become capitalists, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
Why not?
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're making that decision.
Oh, pilots, they're big money grubbers.
No, well, for sure. I'm just saying I don't think they're...
Oh, if there's one thing I can't
Bunch of
say about
Shylocks,
pilots is those damn those trolley money grubbing pilots, right? Everyone calls money
bunch of misers.
Yeah.
That's the word I wanted to use.
Yeah.
Maybe not the other word. Maybe we bleep that word out.
Yeah,
the one I said
Yeah.
starts with an S.
Well, I think miser comes from the language of the pilots.
Yeah, Yiddish. No, yeah.
We did a thing there, yeah. So.
Am I welcome onto the show? Is this a show?
Yeah. Welcome to the show. You want to tell a story?
I like this.
Stoney Maloney. We should introduce what this is. Huh?
I like this I like this magazine that you brought here.
Yeah, that's the Sidecar Junkaroo.
Is that your butt?
No, that's another man's
too
butt.
bad. It's too bad.
Man. Yeah, that is created by a whole crew of us, and that is comedy, music, arts, and poetry.
Oh, it's like everything. Interesting. That is a thick ass magazine.
Yeah, dude, that's like 8 pages right there. Yeah. It's issue what?
Comedy, art, and music.
Also, that looks like it doesn't look like flimsy magazine paper. That looks like.
Oh no, yeah, that's.
No, this is fucking.
Cardstock.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's 100% 30 milligram pure paper.
My brain was like MDMA, but you said paper.
We dip each page actually in clear liquid MDMA.
Oh, so you should buy these.
But for the drugs to hit, you have to eat the whole magazine.
Got it. That's fair.
It's one of those like 72-ounce steak situations.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't count. You don't win the prize. Even if you eat all but one bite, it's still.
The magazine is free if you can eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So buy it, and if you eat the whole thing, we'll send you your money back.
Yeah.
If you send us the video of you eating the whole thing.
Okay, we won't send you your money back. We'll send you a voucher for another magazine.
Another magazine.
Which you can then eat all of and get another magazine. So you can continue getting...
It's how we sell our product.
Yeah, really, we haven't made any money.
It's not even selling. It's just
we sell one,
ratios.
and then...
Yeah.
You're doing a good job playing with the ratios. This is a Stoney Baloney podcast. We have... Fucking Nick is here, dude. From Absurd Junk and Sidecar Junkaroo. I didn't know this was a thing until today.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Are you familiar with the Stoney Baloney podcast?
Yeah, could you go over the rules?
All right, so the rules are... you should do the rules. I'm erring too much. I've been talking a whole lot.
You said the rules are shit. I don't know the rules. So we come on here and we tell stories.
We tell some stories.
The guest picks the topic that we're telling stories
The guest
about.
picks their nose.
That's you. And then...
Poo.
You poo. And then we're going to tell stories which may or may not be true.
May or may not.
Either one of us.
Yeah.
I could be lying or telling the truth. Scott could be lying or telling the truth.
Not April or June, but May.
What? That one confused the fuck out of me. I was like, May.
I like those times where it's like you just kind of you say it, and if they don't get it, you keep moving.
Yeah, you just keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to tell this one.
That's a form of yes and.
This is got to be like a joke throughout the world. I can't imagine I came up with this brilliant joke, but I imagine it's existed, some internet joke. But it's back when women they used to say I can't even. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. I can't even. They don't really say that anymore. But when they did, this joke hit much more in my office, and I would go.
Tell the joke.
And they would go I can't even, and I would go 1357. And it's like one of those sleepers that would just piss people off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like that. That's the comedy I want to do. Is I want to piss people off.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want anybody laughing.
No,
I just want stern faces.
Arguing with me, or like to hate me for like some political or whatever. I want just them to be confused and.
My favorite thing to do with a joke is to make somebody laugh at something that they're upset that they laughed about. That is the pinnacle for me. Like, I made you think something was funny that before I said it, if anybody asked you, you'd have been like, "That's not fun. That is not funny." Yeah. And then I made you laugh about that. That's absolute favorite for sure.
It's awesome. Being a bitter person too.
When people say I can't even, I say, "Well, you are kind of odd."
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You just made that up right now, and I like it.
My high school friend's mom used to say, "You have ODD." I'm like, "What's that?" And she's like, "You're odd."
You're fucking weird, kid.
You're
like,
that's
oh,
good.
I sleep on my couch a lot.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah. But okay, so I guess to that point, the topic going off of high school is field trips.
Did you go on field trips in New Hampshire? You grew up in New Hampshire?
No, I grew up in Rhode Island.
Oh yeah. So wait, Rhode Island, right? I was thinking.
Yeah, we all look the same. All of us New Englanders.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
It's funny because you're what is DC area called? The
DMV.
No, like what? It's DMV? It's named
after
DC,
Maryland, and Virginia.
And it's called the DMV.
That's what they call it.
That's terrible.
And then Northern Virginia, they called Nova.
Did they not know that was a taken acronym?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and also not a good one. Yeah. Not one that people are like, "Ooh, that's nice."
I didn't start the acronym.
No, this wasn't
but I feel insecure like I started the acronym. You know what I mean? I feel attacked. I do. You know what I mean?
And also, you're like, "It's DMV, right?"
Yeah.
It's DMV.
Yeah. Maybe I should need to be less defensive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to double down. Be like, yeah, we're like the DMV. We
the DMV, get over it. Get in line. Like that. Is that
when you think?
Yes, that's how everybody talks.
You know when you think you have something and then you don't. But that was not what was happening.
Wait, are you trying to teach me comedy right now?
That was when I knew I didn't have something.
You're saying when I'm insecure, I should double down.
And then I just went for it anyway.
Oh man, that's
like
the
that.
biggest
I'm gonna try that.
Okay, so I know in Austin there's a place called Hippie Hollow that's like a nudist hangout spot. I'm guessing that's where this is, but I didn't know they had aliens there too. That's pretty fucking cool.
Or a waterfall.
That's coming out. We want
that's pretty cool.
That's very that's cool. On cutting edge of information.
Very nice. That's pretty cool.
Have you been to Hippie Hollow?
I have not.
No.
Dude,
I went paddling on Lake Travis the other day.
It's only a good time.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it was like in the middle of the lake and it's huge.
Yeah.
If you flip over, you can maybe drown. It's really cool.
It is interesting to get into the center of a large body of water and just like sit.
How deep this thing is.
Yeah. And like, I'm not swimming that far.
I know there's also probably nothing that's going to bite me and drag me under.
But you couldn't tell me that when my feet are in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a sea monster under there. There's 100%
I can't see there is a monster. That's how that works.
Yeah. Dude, the neighborhood, I'm on like the neighborhood Facebook group, and somebody posted the other day, it was, they're doing a dive-in instead of a drive-in. So they're doing a movie drive-in thing, but at the pool, at the community pool, right? And they're like, "What movie do you want to watch? Sandlot or Jaws?" Fucking Sandlot.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch Jaws. Why? So all of our irrational fear that a sea monster is in the pool.
And there's definitely a couple of assholes that are going to spend the whole time grabbing motherfuckers by the ankle, and I'm going to kick one of them in the face.
100%. And now I'm kicked out of the neighborhood.
Now I'm the problem?
No, I'm the bad guy.
Because I kicked an asshole in the face?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
When I bring a harpoon to the fucking pool and shoot a guy because he has a shark
the bad
fin
guy.
Yeah.
goggle, that's... Come on.
There are sharks in apparently like parts of Rhode Island right now. Or maybe it's Mass.
Are they that far north?
They've been,
Sharks.
Are they that far
Dude,
inland?
they've been doing weird shit.
They've been sharksmen.
They're on the land? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're on land. Fish out of water.
That's fucking crazy.
Do you play that?
Yeah.
And then the shark would be like, alright, you got me. I'm going back to the ocean. It'd be so cool if they obeyed our laws. So,
He's like, come on. Fucking third time this week.
briefcase.
Yeah.
We're playing a game of red light, green light with the sharks coming in on the fucking sand.
Well, if you say Polo and he doesn't say Marco, then he's not allowed to bite you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So don't forget.
Even if he's like already like,
Dude.
and you got a second to get away.
I am picturing like a surfer sitting on his board out in the middle of the water, just getting his leg ravaged. He's just like, Polo. That'd be great.
That would.
I'd be like, it's Ralph Lauren.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works.
I couldn't imagine like getting bitten. Like
Getting
that's a whole-
it's called
Yeah, just
Bited.
being a nubber.
getting
Yeah.
bited.
Just more so like the uneven jaw around your hole. Oof. I hope it would be one clean bite.
Oh,
But I feel like it never is.
No, it's a tear.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's stupid. Have better jaw structure.
Yeah. Let's all stop and imagine what that feels like right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably, I heard one because I watch the news every night, and
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch. It's just like the CBS or NBC, their little 20-minute nightly news highlight that they put on YouTube. So it's really just like kind of the highlights of the day. If I see anything that interests me, I'll like
Is it
dive
Austin
deeper
based, or
into
is
it.
The country.
It's the one. It's like the Lester Holt or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's nationwide.
That's not 20 minutes, is it?
They have like a 20-minute version that's on YouTube. But fucking shark attacks have been happening a lot this year, is what we were talking about,
A
right?
lot of weird shit has been happening this year, like roller coasters breaking down, people getting bitten by sharks, whales taking out boats. Like it's been a weird year, just like for things that have always just like worked the way they're supposed to are just like falling apart. It's weird.
I wish.
Maybe
things
maybe
were
they,
the way they used to be, huh?
Exactly, right?
yeah.
Back of the bus. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Oh, is that not?
100%. Nope. Unless you're trying
100%.
to catch some air. Is that what you're referring to? I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, well, it's like
Yes.
a political campaign where you
You're just
go.
trying to help me with my story. This takes place on a bus, partly.
Oh,
See?
I'm
yes.
trying to think.
There's a
so, like,
segue.
Admittedly, I'm terrible at like storytelling. Just because I almost like figure I don't necessarily know where it should start. And maybe I'm just a Kurt Vonnegut type of storyteller where it's happening all the time. So strap in, I guess. I was in seventh.
Relax. Let's all fucking relax for a second.
And hold hands. Is that what we're
I don't think have room. I was in 7th grade, and
recently?
No, it had to have been like 12 years ago, probably.
Okay.
So it was either 7th or 8th grade, and you went to a Catholic school in high school? Or
Not Christian school, but yeah.
So like New England, we have a lot of Catholics, and I went to a all boys school eventually in high school, but before that I was in public school, and let's see.
All got molested?
No.
Oh.
No.
Did you hear the disappointment in his voice?
Just to go on.
No!
My high school has
He did
a lot
sound-
of drama.
he
My high school
sounded
has a
super
lot of
upset
drama,
about
especially specifically that type of stuff happened in the 90s, apparently. But I'm trying to think about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about middle school. I'm talking about middle school.
Different kind of story.
We're going on a field trip to a place called Exchange City. Have you heard of something
Exchange City?
Exchange City, which sounds more like it would be like full of foreign people, but
Yes.
it's just like you do different jobs. So like you're an 8th grader and you get to be like, I'm gonna be a website designer. I'm gonna work in the radio and I'm gonna get fake money to buy stuff and learn how the economy works.
Got it.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that was like the highlight of, I guess it must have been 8th grade. And there had been this woman, this girl Dacia, who had been like just like a bully kind of, just like she's a tough like girl, and like kind of came through from like a rough, I think, kind of family growing up, like just whatever dynamics we were all dealing with. She had certain ones that were less than ideal. And
did you come from an ideal background?
Yeah, I mean, like somewhat.
Did you have a more comfortable upbringing?
In certain ways. I mean, I'm part of a divorced family. I have a sister who's in prison, so it's like I have some things that are kind of not. But, you know, in the end, we all have our...
I would define that as a dysfunctional family.
It's sort of... you know...
So parents are divorced, and you have a sister in prison. That's not like a super...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of... it's not a traditional family. It's non-traditional.
And let me tell you, it's had its effect.
You noticed?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that why your pee-pee's so small?
It's because I don't have a job, and I'm producing podcasts and figuring it out.
Fingering it out?
Fingering it out. Gross. Disgusting. I'm gonna make it so the AI takes me out of this whole episode.
It's just which Indian god did we decide that was?
It's Kali.
Kali, yeah. Oh. It's just Kali speaking the whole time instead, but his voice.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would actually be so fucking weird.
A Kali avatar, and he's just swinging around like fucking severed head.
Well, no, just the tapestry on the wall, but mouth moving.
Yeah, like what was that? Like it would be like old timey editing where it's just like little slits. It's like a dummy.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Yep.
Or like that show that they used to do on Nickelodeon with the orange.
Was that on Nickelodeon eventually? Because I knew that as the annoying orange from YouTube.
It was on YouTube too.
Nickelodeon show.
Yep.
Some people have all the luck.
Right? They do.
All right, so so you come from a dysfunctional family yourself.
I do.
And this girl is her life circumstances.
Which is why you kind of understand why she was fucked up the way she was.
Yeah,
right.
But I didn't have that I didn't have what's that called, hindsight.
Well, of course.
Or that information then, really.
Yeah.
I kind of just heard it about, and based on her certain circumstances now, I imagine that it's had effect on her throughout her whole life. So she's also on my bus the entire, like every day when we're going to middle school too. So like I'm on her bus. Her last name begins with the C. My name begins with the C. Our lockers are next to each other. So like
it's just nonstop interaction.
Nonstop of stuff. I liked her. I was kind of like going out with like her friend, and it was like my first girlfriend, kind of like dating, 8th grade. So, and then so it's just like weird. But so we go to Exchange City. My dad is a chaperone because he loves being a part of my life. And he subtle brag.
That felt pointed. I know it wasn't, but it did feel.
Not at you. That's a.
I've got a good dad. No, we get it, Nick.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
He's great.
All right.
He's a tough. He's fucking hard.
My dad's not an alcoholic and a crack smoker. My dad didn't beat me. My dad's a chaperone. I fucking understand.
That makes so much sense about why you guys would have fallen into those paths, though. Mm-hmm. But okay, and I'm
oh, don't feel bad. I didn't mean to make you feel
now you're making it weird.
I recognize it. No. I'm not sorry you went through it.
I mean, neither are we. Because if I didn't go through it, I probably wouldn't be doing the things that I do and living the life that I live. And no, you fucking cocksuckers. But also, fuck you.
This is like what comes out when I feel really comfortable with myself. I'm very jabby and like kind of a little shitter.
Yeah.
And I've gotten better.
Do you do that on stage at all?
What I used, yeah, but so I didn't really do it for improv because the whole point of improv is be kind and give gifts. Yeah. That's great, I love that. Mm-hmm. But like when I did stand up, I was trying to be more someone who I think does a lot of really good like stand up here, who I like a lot, is Matthew Amos. like just his pointed anger at people. Have you seen his stand-up at all? I like that.
What would work really well for you with that is you have a very disarming personality.
Right. You don't expect it to come.
Exactly. So you come on and your voice is charming and the air about you, the way you walk is a little bit light. And then you come in and hit with that because there's the trick with being mean to the audience is never crossing the line where they feel like you're actually being mean. Yeah, and you have a natural freebie in that. So yeah, that's definitely something I would lean into for sure.
For like me, when I'm mean to the audience, I'm actually mean to the audience.
Same. Yeah, they don't like it. They're like, oh no, what? Yeah. Why are you mad at me?
Also, you and I are so. I mean, you're also you have a big frame too. You know what I mean? You're a big guy, but my whole life, it's like, as soon as someone you or my size starts expressing any anger like that.
It's intimidating, yeah.
It does fucking, you know what I mean? People don't like that.
Yeah,
because we're bigger, you know? Yeah. It's intimidating, yeah. So when we are being mean, we're like, no, I need you to be like a gentle giant. Like that's, I feel like what they need more from you. I don't know. But you are like that. You're more easygoing and
I also care like incredibly what people think about me, and that's something I try not to care about because it really doesn't matter in the end for sure. But like I definitely like if I felt like someone in the audience is like really butthurt, I would like. Oh my God, and you shouldn't think that way, obviously.
No, you can't like that because that's not funny, and that's our job. And well, no, of course. Yeah. But again, that's like
well, because like you said, you have to double down. I think like you just have to lean into it, and whatever it is, just sit there until you bathe. I mean, you jumped off the cliff, keep falling.
Exactly, but also that like I think it's better if you say something outlandish. And you don't backtrack because then it's clear that that's what you were doing. Because if you backtrack, then they're like, well, why did you feel uncomfortable about it? Is it because you kind of meant it? And we all felt that? But if you're just like, I said that crazy fucking thing. And then you just move on to a new thing. They're like, that was great. At the very least, the worst response to that is just like, that guy's nuts. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, wow, he's really angry and awful.
Yeah. That's all right. Part of the benefit of being here in Austin with such great comics is you get to watch your peers go through that, right? So it's different when you watch it's a little bit different when you watch someone like Bill Burr or someone of that caliber, Andrew Schultz, Matt Rife, who's always posting crowd work clips. When you see those level of people, right, dealing with a heckler, right, that's one thing. But when you see a peer do it, or not a heckler, but somebody who got butthurt by a joke. But when you see a peer do it, somebody that you're out doing shows with. I recently saw Leonarda post a video, and it was her doing jokes about Ukraine. And
that lady got so upset.
And she believes the things that she's saying. So she doubled down on it. You know what I mean? And the audience was like, you could feel that a percentage of them tightened up and didn't want to laugh. But like, we've done comedy long enough that you know that you can that you haven't lost them, right? So you can double down, and once you know that you haven't lost them, you can kind of push that person out the door if that's what they're already doing. Yeah. And then just come back, and it's sometimes about holding fucking strong. Yes. If it's something that you're talking about that you more or less believe in, that's part of your belief system, especially if you're a comic that's like trying to get across a point. You know what I mean? But that still applies to the scenario that you're talking about, where if you just say, if you ruffle somebody's feathers, you know what I mean? It's about holding strong on the joke.
Isn't it ironic, or maybe supremely metaphorical, that like you have so many things that are like that with like baking and with doing comedy and with like having a fishing line where it's like the fishing line can snap too early if you're not handling it right. Like literally everything is about precise and consistency, and it's all like it's
there's a lot of nuance.
Yeah.
I mean, even just hammering in a nail, you know what I mean? You got to get it at the right angle and shit. You got to have
Yeah, to do anything well, it requires a level of focus, but also like purposeful action.
Yeah.
And getting that purposeful action is just like, that's where I'm struggling with right now. Is like, what is the reason to talk about certain things, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to like, if whatever, and I'm talking more like from producing stuff, putting things out there. What do I want people to see? You know what I mean? Like, what
Right.
do I want to be someone on their phone, like, as they went through, and, like, that was a thing, like, you made them laugh for a second? Or would you rather make them feel a whole movie? Would you rather just have a one-to-one relationship and not being a performer?
Right.
You know, like, there's really...
It sounds more like, I enjoy all those mediums, right? Obviously, we're stand-up comedians. That's how we know each other. You sound like you're more geared towards, I know you've done stand-up comedy, but you're more of like a video guy, a director, a film, an improv, an actor type guy.
Is that a thing? Like, do you want to make films?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
I didn't know that was...
It sounds like you're trying to find like your primary medium.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to do all those things too. I want to make films, right? I want to make TV shows. You know, you and I have had many conversations about making TV series, about movies that we have ideas for, about sketch shows and making sketches and posting these podcasts and these podcast clips where it's like, you know, like with Jamisha and Jordan and Bilal and these deep talks that we've had with people. You know what I mean? Like, you are getting that full kind of spectrum and variety of things. I want to do all of those things, but comedy is my primary medium. That's the one that I have the most focus on. But all those other little things are fun too, and they all feed the primary thing. You know what I mean? Being better at improv makes you a better comedian.
Having
a visual eye for directing or how you see a stage makes you a better comedian.
Yeah. Any kind of creative pursuit grows any other creative pursuit. Just any kind of thing, like they intertwine. They make anything else you're doing better, for sure.
To whereas it's like, you know, if you're reading certain things that you do are filling your creative spectrum, right? It might not, right? It's just passing through. But then when you're learning these other mediums, it's widening the scope of your creative spectrum of that. You know what I mean? Of that prism, you know? So as you widen that scope and make that prism bigger and bigger, then when you're feeding the prism, your creative prism, the things that come out of it, and especially if you're focusing them in, you know, whatever it is you decide to focus on, I think whatever it is, you're going to be good at it. From what I know about you, you're really into film and you have a visual eye for that. Like because that's the other thing is when you talk to me about film, you're like, hey, Scott, have you seen the new Michael Bay movie? You know what I mean? You're like, dude, you're going to love Cronenberg, right? Like, you're someone I can talk to about David Lynch, right? So you have this artistic mindset when it comes to that.
Yeah. I just, like...
What do you think is best for you?
Well, it's just funny, like, now that I'm 28, I've done so many different jobs or wanted to get in different fields, like the marijuana industry, and then it was podcasting, and then it's acting, and then it's comedy, and then it's what else, graphic design, user experience, all these different industries that I've had like flirtatious relationships with, and maybe like I've gotten this like second base with them, but like it always like was stopped through, I don't know, so whether it was like some level of hurdle, or whether it was like my own self getting in the way or wanting to move someplace else, so like I had to start over again kind of thing. But I don't know, I mean, now I'm leaning into the filmmaking whole thing, and this is like, you know, producing podcasts and other shows is kind of like the goal of how to support being able to do that other stuff, you know? And so...
Filmmaking is such a long form media too, and that's really disappearing, and the one that you do see out, you know what I mean, aren't that impressive or artistically vibrant.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and there's also a lot of like, I think what ruins movies for me sometimes is like the over marketing of it in certain, which is like kind of like what we get now, because movie theaters and distributors are so like needy to get us out and to see a movie that they like pull all the stuff, so we see it nonstop, and it's like, oh my god, I've overeaten this trailer.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Times.
It's been shoved down my throat. Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So it's I don't know. Like I said.
That's also your algorithm, though, too.
Yeah, and that's
because I'm not seeing that many. I see some movie trailers every now and again, but that's part of your algorithm.
Yeah.
Or you need to pay for fucking Hulu Premium. And that's your problem, is you need premium YouTube TV that just shows you the little serene songs.
God, every time I think about like podcasting and TV and everything, it's like there's got to be another way than user generated money or like ads. And I'm like, well, I guess there is no. Is either you have ads or you get people pay for your content. Which I just wish there was another way where it's like you didn't have to deal with ads, but you also made money.
Right.
Like it's kind of seemingly the best.
Well,
case.
It kind of is one of the. I don't know what another parallel would be, because that like.
Merch is another way,
Merch
you know what I mean? But you have to have fantastic branding for that merch to fucking.
For someone to buy, I want to just make a dumb T-shirt and like make trash.
Right, yeah.
That literally is going to be thrown away.
Right, you need functional things as well. Yeah.
Also, there is the weird psychological reality that like, and we learn this in what we do in shows and stuff like that. If people don't pay anything for something, they don't value it the same.
Right, yeah.
That's
true. And that's part of living in a society that everything is valued by its monetary equivalent. And like that, we can all agree, is not super healthy. Right. But since that is the reality of the world we live in, it is tough to give somebody something for free and them not think, oh, that's free shit.
Right. And that's exactly what Exchange City is trying to instill on the young people that attend it. So Exchange City teaches you how to be a working American and how to spend that money and whatever, all that stuff. So like we all got our jobs what we were. I got a job as a web designer, which ironically is what I ended up becoming, sort of. And so it is funny where it's like you think about, I think about, not to get off a tangent again, but like you think about what you're doing now and what you used to do as like a kid, and you're like, oh, are there parallels of like
for sure
always going towards this direction?
Yes.
And of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's funny that I was a web designer. But my dad was a chaperone, and he's just already a tough guy. I love him, and our relationship's gotten like way better.
Bit of a tough guy, huh?
Super, and like to the point where like if he got mad, his like Italian accent would come out just because like we're from Rhode Island, and so like it just I don't know why, but it seethes out and it gets Italian. Like what are you doing? Kind of like just So but great relationship. I used to like do jokes, like trying to be like, oh, like my dad, you made me write like sports essays, like essays on sports movies. So like we'd watch like Remember the Titans, and then it'd be like, now like what was that movie about? And then it'd be like,
oh shit, you had to do homework after fucking wow.
And like so like it was in the best case, it was out of love, and it was out of
for sure
I don't know
and it has value in the things you do now.
He knew I liked writing as well, so like it was probably seen more, but it's just like it wasn't be like write like an essay on why Airplane is the funniest movie of all time, you know what I mean? It was like be like, okay, like we're watching Coach Carter, what's this movie about, and it's like, all right, like, and partly it is because I have a black sister probably too, so I wanted to make sure I'd like he's doing anti-racist shit before anti-racist was even like cool, or like even talked about probably. But I mean that probably was always around. Now it's just mainstream. But so anyway, so that's kind of like he wants me to read a lot. He wants me to do it because I like all this stuff, and he's always been like a wind in your sails kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so he's like
sounds like a
chaperone.
He's doing it fucking again, dude. Yeah. He's doing the thing.
He's over here making a list. He's like, no, I'm going to tell you some things about my dad, and then you can tell me some cool things about your dad afterwards.
Wind in the sails.
Well, I
didn't have wind or fucking sails.
Yeah,
I didn't have either.
I did in the ocean.
Yeah, my sails have been tattered and fucking swung into. Jeez.
My dad figured out he could fashion a whip out of my sails, and then he just.
Yeah.
My dad smoked the hemp rope a lot, all of it.
Weed? Or what is hemp rope? You said crack earlier, but
that too.
Also,
it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I doubled down saying stuff like that because my dad and I have had so much.
My dad found pool cleaner in the hull and lithium batteries.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a good, better relationship now. But anyway, so
It does sound like it could be strict at times, though.
It was strict for sure, and but you know,
Which is,
But also, on the other side, having kids, there is some level of that you have to do. You have to understand, like, as a parent, there is a certain level of, like, I have to do this, otherwise you won't find success. You won't learn how to find success. Yeah, absolutely. But it's like, the other side of it is just because you didn't pull out one time doesn't mean you're instilled with all of these abilities of how to teach another human being. So it's not easy, and not everybody gets it right.
Well, so you're going against like whatever you don't want to be. Like your dad too, so like he's like going on the other side. So all this shit, but he's tough, and he's a chaperone on this field trip.
Nice.
And
I gotta take a piss. I'm sorry.
yeah, okay. Well, we'll take a break.
Do you want to chaperone me to the bathroom? Why are you fucking looking at me like that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. That's good.
Scott, can you turn that light just to face you more?
Up here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Stinky.
I can pee too.
All right, go pee. We got time.
I forget, did you pay me for Nick Reese's yet? I can't remember that. I could just look at my things in here.
Let me see.
Edit after order.
You got enough room behind you?
Ooh, yeah. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Nick, you're a great guest, bud.
Thanks, man.
Just slow down.
No, yeah, I was just trying to think of how to even get into it. I was just totally blanking.
Just talk to us. You're just talking to Gabe. Just relax. Be calm. Om. Om. Is that like good?
Yes. Yeah, it's great. All right, so let's just redo this from the top.
When Gabe finishes text message.
So I was in 8th grade. We were going
All right, welcome to the Stoney Baloney podcast.
Yeah, from the top, right?
right from the top.
All right.
All right, so we were in Exchange City, and I had my job, and then so my dad's a chaperone so like each business had an adult working it, being like, this is what you need to do, this checklist of things, and Dacia is in his group. And she's just like not doing any of the work that he's telling her to do. She's like bunking off and going to eat and doing all this shit, which is really funny that like kids are still like doing what like they might do in real life.
Yeah. Also, there are going to be people who actually do that right now at that job.
It's like seriously, they should have had like you pick your job where you're like, oh, you're the bum that's like panhandling for money, you know? like let's make it a
like let's society. Really fill out society. Yeah, there are all of these roles.
Yeah.
And you think it's hot because she's disobeying your dad. And
oh
like,
yeah, no, yeah. This ends with me making it with her. I did not want anything to do with her. So so that's all happening, and then my dad's like telling on her or whatever to the teachers, being like, she's doing this, she's not doing her work, and so my mom like, sorry, no, oh my god, wow. I just called Dossie my mom. Freudian slip.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That means. So
he's like, you know who else wouldn't listen to my dad? My fucking mom.
And that's why they're divorced.
Didn't write essays.
That's why my mom's got 2 black eyes.
No, and 2 black guys. That's so different.
That's also gross. So she's not doing her thing. He's mad, and then like she gets mad at him because like he got her in trouble, and now she's in trouble. Whatever, blah blah blah. But she's like always in trouble. Like she's always a troublemaker. Blah blah whatever.
She's naughty.
Yeah. And so we're on the bus going back home. She's sitting with my semi-girlfriend at front, and I'm like behind them, and then she's eating Teddy Grahams, and she's like, your dad's a bitch.
Fuck yeah.
And she's turning around to me, your dad's a bitch. And then I said, my dad's not a bitch. And it was like really good comeback.
That's solid. No, that's solid.
Her retort was she spit the Teddy Grahams in my face.
Oh fuck!
Hot.
That was really gross. So
it's okay to sexualize a middle schooler in the story because in the story she's a grown adult now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And in the story you would have also been a middle schooler. So.
Well, you would have been in high school. How old are you? 28, maybe? No, you're not 28.
Look, all I'm saying is this grown ass lady.
Yeah.
Is a brat
spit some Teddy Grahams in your face.
Who will spit in your mouth. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's the end of
Gabe,
that's the end of that event.
Are you listening? You're not hearing the finer points.
She spits in my face.
Your dad's a bitch.
Yeah, and so like I don't remember if I talked to my dad about that. Like,
do you know how hard Scott would come if a girl was on top of him and said your dad's a bitch? Oh, he would be done. Okay. She'd be pregnant.
Yeah.
With triplets. Tall,
and he'd name them triplets. All Scott.
But different spellings.
Yeah.
Right.
SCOT. That'd be Scott Jr., who'd be TT. And we'd call him TT.
Cool.
And then there'd be Scott, but it'd be spelled like
SKAUGHT.
No. It'd be spelled like SKAHL.
That's not how you spell Scott.
Yeah, but that's how we spell Scott in this household.
And then he would just be that asshole who's like, no, it's obviously Scott.
I don't know how to name my fake son a fake name. You think this fucking guy comes into my house on the podcast, he asked me to stuff and thinks the fake name that I made up is the incorrect fucking spelling. That's absurd.
No, that's absurd junk.
And then the plug. This guy with the plug.
Your dad's a bitch.
So she calls my dad a bitch. I don't know what happens that night really, but the next day we're back at school. It's so like that's how memories go. Basically, it becomes a movie where you're like, all right, we'll edit all that shit out. I forget. Cut to the next scene. And so the next scene was our lockers next to each other the next morning. after that whole thing had happened. And I think like I must have gone home and be like, this next morning I'm gonna be so determined. I'm gonna stand up to her and I'm gonna be like, my dad's not a bitch. I'm gonna say that again or something probably.
Yeah.
And then
that's him in the mirror like, my dad's not a bitch, like that or something probably.
yeah, my dad's not a bitch. I can't even say that.
I don't know.
My dad's not a bitch.
Yeah.
And so
My dad's not a bitch.
then I go there and our lockers next to each other and she's kind of like shoving me a little bit and so I'm shoving her a little bit.
Oh, she's boxing out.
Boxing out.
She's playing, trying to get the rebound.
And I don't think I pushed her or anything, but then I was like, hey, I must something to like whatever like an eighth grader was like, we need to talk about yesterday, like whatever that would be.
Well, whatever a fucking nerdy 8th grader says.
Yeah, like that wasn't okay what you said. Something like that probably. And then she was like, oh yeah.
Hey, I don't approve of your language in regards to my
That
father.
was disrespectful. My dad is good. He's a good man. And just because I was also so.
I'm sorry that you didn't come from a good family.
So then
I hope this conversation finds you well.
she didn't like whatever I said, so she starts choking me.
Oh shit.
Oh
Like,
shit, dude.
I know this is like a very sexual story.
Brad
now, but
spitting, choking,
I know.
listening.
It's a BDSM.
Yeah, you missed all of the signals.
Sure.
She wanted to fuck.
I
Yeah.
bet.
When do you take your belt off? That's what I want to know.
No.
When did she take your belt?
So I'm slammed up against the lockers. I don't know if I hit my growth spurt yet, but like it's 8th grade, so I'm probably like
You're hitting it, yeah.
a
You're
little bit, but I was kind of late, and then all like at once. So like I'm
So you're like 3 inches at this point.
probably more. Shut up. So like I'm
not in the story at this point right now.
No, because you've grown.
yeah. So I'm slammed against the locker, and she's choking me. I push her back, and I'm like, ah! Like, what the heck? Like, I don't even know if I probably didn't swear or anything. I was like a really good kid.
What the flip?
And
Why the stink would you do that?
yeah, so then like I don't know if I went to the office because I was just like, well, that was crazy. Time to just go to school. And so like we go to our classes, and then I think someone else tells on us. And
You know, women be choking.
Sure. So like we both get called to the office, and they're like, there was a camera right there that they should have seen everything, and I don't know why they didn't, but like basically they're like, you're also in the wrong because you pushed her, and I was like, but I was being choked, and they're like, well, you should have defended, like you should have not, I don't know, like whatever they thought I should have done, I didn't do it right, and so I got in trouble.
Like you should have turned the other throat? Or
Yeah. And so I remember while we were waiting to go into like the disciplinary like principal's office, I'm like, you're gonna get in trouble because you always get in trouble. And,
Pause.
yeah.
Turn the other throat is definitely a line of like Christian themed pornos that we need to do.
Oh.
Sorry, continue.
Turn the other cheek, but turn the other cheek also already.
Turn the other cheek.
About all, yeah.
Yeah, smack the other cheek.
Yeah.
I'm fucking into this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you'll be fucking in these films for sure.
There's a yeah. So
Because I've done church girl. Oh, you're a dirty little church girl role play, and that's a fucking good time. Keep going with the story.
So I said you're gonna. Get
You know what's better than that is when they just are actually a dirty little church girl. Yeah, that's even more fun.
I'm definitely bleeping.
I'm really glad that you did that because I was like, man, I kind of feel like a pervert from saying. Not that everyone that knows me doesn't know that I'm a pervert, but then you did what you did. I'm like, and Nick's like, come on, guys, this isn't appropriate.
Let's show some respect for that. So I say to her,
This is a feminist podcast.
yeah.
Also, it's the funniest I've ever heard anyone say.
And I say to her, you're gonna get in trouble because you always get in trouble, and I'm a little shit like that. Like that's kind of like what I was working with as an attitude probably then, because I didn't get in trouble, so I was like this holier than thou type of person. Like I probably had like a Christian, like a come to a Christian attitude, kind of. You know what I mean? Where it's like someone who was a troublemaker and then they found God and then they have to let you know. That's like what I was as an 8th grader.
Yeah, like I used to be like you.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that kind of a.
So then, we get in trouble. I get in school suspension. So
ISS, dude.
And there's all these
first taste of jail.
Yeah, that's the closest when I do jail tales for Mason. That's gonna be my story.
Yeah, you should tell ISS stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
that's how I felt when I was in jail. It was just like a really long.
And then my sister, always the one upper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she fucking
nice.
But 3-uppered.
Nice.
Because she conspiracy to cook and distribute uppers.
I getcha. That's good.
Let's see.
Literal humor.
Meth.
Yeah, so 2 charges, and then the 1
Distribution
upper.
and the,
Yeah. So anyway,
So 3 uppers.
we're both in ISS. That's what it's called? ISS.
And she's fucking hurling.
You were the one
spitballs.
there. What the fuck? What are you asking me? I wasn't.
Because I wasn't that wasn't my crowd. I just never.
Did I?
I never had to short it down. 'Cause I
That
wasn't saying
wasn't
it
my
at the time.
crowd. Wow.
Did you ever have to go to ISS?
You know I did, Scott.
I just didn't know if ISS was a thing where you, like, when you went to...
Yeah, it was the downstairs closet.
It was...
Because I was homeschooled.
Yeah, so that was it was like the end of like 8th grade. So like we were like watching movies and stuff. So I missed out on watching movies. I missed out on like fun pizza parties and shit because of something I didn't do, which sucked. And then in the kicker, I thought I was gonna get in trouble. Like I wouldn't have gone into that all boys cafe at school because I'm like they're gonna see it on my record that like I pushed a girl. So I was like crying about that emotionally.
But that's also like, they're like, that's fine. We don't have any of those here.
Right, yeah, they're like, you're gonna fit right in. Welcome to the Christian Brotherhood.
Or, well, we'll fit right in.
Yeah, so
you.
that was that, and now she's a porn star, so that is
Is she really?
the story.
Oh,
my
dude,
God.
I knew it!
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I like how he was like, this story sounds like it's sexual, and then, yeah.
And then, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably...
She definitely had a tough upbringing, because some of the stuff that she has done, it's very demeaning and unfortunate. It's sad. There's some tough stuff.
Yeah.
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 But
And you're like, and I've jerked off to all of them.
I wish her the best.
Yeah.
Wish she does well. And
Will you send us links after the show?
just imagine. You know?
No, that's all we've been doing.
You've probably seen it already. You know? Porn is crazy like that.
Oh, is she like a big...
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, yeah, dude, this is when I'm like...
Like a BBW?
This is when I'm a prude. I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe.
Maybe she is.
She like
maybe I've seen her.
Brazzers. She's like
She's
shooting on
done-
Brazzers.
I don't think maybe. I think some stuff, yeah.
Reality
I don't think
Kings.
She's done Playboy or whatever, but stuff like that, yeah. She's like in the hardcore stuff. So anyway, that is the story of a field trip. That it sounds like that, there's gotta be like sexy field trip porn, but that wasn't what this was. Sort of.
But it could have been.
Yeah, if you were to like romanticize it.
In a demented way, yeah.
Yeah.
And you made
Which I
everyone-
did.
Which I did the whole time you were telling the story, yeah.
You make everyone in their 20s play 15-year-olds. I think that's how you would do it tastefully in the movie.
I never knew a girl like that, and well, not until the end of high school is when I started discovering those girls, or they discovered me.
Crazy people? Crazy, like...
Yeah, and I still find them all the time. I'm also a crazy
Or do you
people,
mean
though. I
porn
think I
stars?
just attract crazy people.
Yeah, you attract other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like is known by like. Birds of a feather
Yeah.
come together.
Yeah.
They sure do.
So, yeah.
So I don't. This was all obviously last minute.
Yeah,
I don't have. I might have an interesting field trip story, but I think I'm gonna derail and just tell a story that I've been like working on, and I want to make sure, like, I want to see if it's funny and works for the stage. So I recently got a fucking tooth pulled.
Yeah.
Which is horrendous. And the whole time, like every step of the way, they're all like making sure to go out of their way to be like, this is gonna suck worse for you than it would if you had taken care of this when you were in your teens. And I was like, yeah, I know. The thing about poor is you don't get to make that
People,
decision.
like, say that shit to you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I had a choice not to do this.
Yeah, I didn't want to fucking yeah. So yeah, we
You're right, yeah.
I grew up in a very, very religious and very poor house, and one of those things was the reason we were told why we didn't like doctors, and one of those things was the actual reason because we couldn't afford them. But it was very convenient that Jesus was another reason. So anyway, I didn't have like, I didn't go to the dentist. We didn't go to the doctor, any of that kind of shit. Like, we just didn't have that stuff. So I had one of my wisdom teeth just grew in sideways, right? So it was just like fucking up the tooth next to it, right? It was just like pushing into it. And it was starting to hurt. And so I went to get that taken care of, right? And they ended up cutting that tooth out. And I've actually still got to go back and get a root canal on the tooth beside it that it fucked up because one of the nerves it fucked up. Anyway, this is a riveting story, isn't it?
No, yeah, dude. I just.
I'm not doing all of this
well,
on stage, obviously.
All I'm thinking about is like, oh, my teeth suck too, and I'm just so scared.
Yeah, I need to get mine cleaned and
the problem is the longer you wait, the worse it is. But also, most people don't wait because they're like, no, I just don't want to. It's because you can't afford to do it.
Your junior fine are like, well, they hurt. So I don't know what is going on.
Yeah,
it's like a dental college around here where I can go get my teeth cleaned and whitened.
Yes,
that'd be.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
yes.
They do free haircuts.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Just people who are training.
Dentist?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Scary.
Yeah, I mean it's like last year students that are doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like freshmen who are coming in and like, is this right? Yeah, it's people who, in theory, should already know what they're doing.
Right, they're about to go into the field.
Do you have to be a doctor? Like
No,
it's only 4 years?
Yeah, I think you can do dental school in 2 years, actually. Yeah. Now, and this is the weird thing about the dental thing is like, and most people don't know this unless you've had an experience with it, but like most of the things that actually happen in your mouth, a dentist doesn't do. A dentist cleans you and then like locates an issue and then sends you to somebody else.
Yeah, an oral surgeon.
Yeah, because that's somebody who is actually a doctor, and or a periodontist is what you go to for the root canal. So it's real doctors basically that they send you to.
There's like those little fish that like clean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then they'll do stuff like fillings and caps and mostly cosmetic
All
shit.
the shit that fucks you up.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it all done right, and then I was having like real bad pain, so I went back to the oral surgeon and was just like, "Yo, what's going on?" Turned out there was like a little chunk of the tooth because they literally take like a rotary tool, and just like grind it down. Yeah, it's a Dremel. Yeah, that's so there was just a little chunk of tooth that had chipped off and was wedged down in like the part of my tooth that was damaged beside it, right? So that's why I was having terrible pain. So they got it out. But while he was in there, he was like, "Do you know that you have a tongue tie?" Which I did not know, but I do.
What's that?
It's the like thick white line. Like I can only lift my tongue that far. There's like a hard, it's like a tendon basically that grows there on some people.
Yeah. So
this he starts out, he was like, "Hey, do you have like do you get like cluster headaches?" And I was like, yeah, I've had those for years. So a cluster headache is like the worst headache you can get. Like a migraine is the worst headache that a standard person would get. A cluster headache is a nerve headache that affects you in a very different way, and it creates a pain that's like a lot of people just pass out from it because it's so intense. But it's a super rare thing, so it's not a thing, like there's not a lot of research or information on it, right? But he was like, "Do you have those?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Do you get a lot of like knots in your, shoulder and neck and shit?" And like, obviously in that moment, my first thought was like, "Did you just ask me if I like back rubs before you were about to put me to sleep? This feels very Cosby. I don't know if I like this."
You can do better than Cosby.
Obviously. Jesus Christ.
So this is an improv game. It's called Ding, and it's like you have to you ding, you say something different each time. So I didn't like it. It was very Crosby. Ding.
Ding.
I don't have anything else.
Ding.
I'm not ready.
Yes,
Ding.
and
Ding him.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for all that.
All right.
Relax.
Well.
Calm down.
It's very.
I'm working out the whole story. I'm not ready to work out each individual line of the story.
That's what we did with Colin when Colin told his story.
We did.
But we also didn't sit across from her and go ding.
No, that's aggressive.
I'm just like fucking with you.
You got double tap. There it is.
It's more of a hold than a double tap.
No, so it was the last thing you did.
Really?
There's a little bit of delay. And is what you have to do. Okay. Yeah. But I was going to let you just keep doing it over and over.
He was going to let you
do that. It was on Scott the whole time. It really was.
Cool. So anyway, he was like, this, like, if you get this clip, first of all, it affects.
Is a tongue tie bad?
Yeah, so it's not. Oh God, you're gonna fucking die. Jesus Christ. So
that's a lot, right?
It's It's just flour. This isn't concentrates.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but apparently, if you clip that, first of all, it gives you better range of motion, which is super. Like, you need to be able to move your tongue all around your mouth to clean things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important to be able to actually have the range of motion, right? He's like, but also if you get this clipped, it'll fix those other issues because it like something about that causes you to like
there's a nerve
hold your head forward, and that causes all of the. He's checking for tongue ties right now. The best part is these are all photos of your chin. You can't see what I'm talking about in any of those photos.
So I see like kind of the bottom of the tongue.
So he's like, this will fix all of that, and then also obviously it's better for your tongue. And I was like, okay, but like what's the downside? And he's like, well, it's not like it. Obviously, it's another procedure. You just had surgery on your mouth. It's going to be longer time that you're going to have to heal. Obviously, I didn't get it done yet. But he's like, literally immediately when you get that done, the headaches will stop. All the knots and stuff in your neck and shoulder will start to go away.
It's like cutting a
and then you'll
piece
have
of cord and the tension eases.
Yeah,
up.
exactly. And then you'll have much better range of motion.
Wow.
I was like, so you're, and I did say this to him. I was like, so you're telling me that I could get better at eating pussy just from this little surgery? And he...
You said that to him?
Yes. And he was not, like, he didn't have a real good sense of humor about anything. So he was just, like, very, like, I guess. But actually, that's when he was like, well, but if you do any of that kind of stuff, and that's what he said. And I was like, okay, cool. Okay, all right. So we're not going to joke about this. And he was like, but if you do any of that kind of stuff, you have to wait a couple weeks. And I was like, all right, whatever. Totally fucking worth it, right? And
do you want your doctor to like pussy though? You gotta imagine with his buddies in college that joke he would have fucking, you know what I mean?
I would hope so,
but like,
because I want him to be
do you
like.
Think he was just being professional, or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you have to absolutely. And in that situation, like if you. It would be different if he and I were like buddies and he was my doctor. Obviously, we could play around a little more, but he doesn't know that I'm not just like recording him saying something off color and I'm going to use it to bribe. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to be super careful with any of that kind of stuff because like people can misconstrue stuff and it can be bad, right? Even though I was the one making the joke,
right?
But he was like, you know, it's funny. I have a buddy who is a plastic surgeon. And he was like, if you're into that, he's like, there's also a surgery they can do where they clip the tendon in your dick and you gain up to 2 extra inches of dick.
Yeah, sure.
So this is, and I researched this is fucking legitimate, right? Mm-hmm. So it is the tendon that allows you to like move your dick. So if you cut that, you can't do it anymore. But it's also the tendon that keeps the part of your dick that's like further down pressed to your body. So when they do that, it extends it, right? And I'm like, there's no way I've never heard of this, right? 2 extra inches of dick, because that's a game changer. It doesn't matter how big your dick is. 2 inches of dick puts you in a new weight class. Guaranteed. If you have a 3-inch dick, that's a sad dick, right? It just is. Sorry if you have a 3-inch dick. A 5-inch dick, that's an okay dick, right? Nobody's calling their friends and telling them about it in either direction, right? It's fine. 7-inch dick, that's a good dick.
Yeah, it's a respectable dick.
That's. It may not be the biggest one she's ever seen, but she's happy to come home to it, right? But even if you've got a 7-inch dick, a 9-inch dick is a fucking hog, right? Like that's a cannon. So no matter where you are on the scale, extra 2 inches, that's huge, right? So I was like, there's got to be a massive downside to this, right? If everybody isn't just getting their tendon clips and getting extra dick, right? You're telling me there's just 2 inches of secret dick on everybody's dick and we're all just sitting on that? No fucking way. And he was like, okay, well, this, like, that has some serious, like, he's like, it's like a 6 to 8 week recovery and you can't jerk off, you can't have sex, like nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a little more serious than just like, I can't eat pussy for 2 weeks with the tongue tie, right? And he was like, well, actually, it gets a little worse. Ugh. He's like, if you do anything too soon and you tear any of the muscle, then they have to sew it back up and you could lose up to an inch of the dick you currently have. And I was like, right. So you're telling me
it's a dick slot machine.
That if I clip this tongue tie, I can eat pussy better? Is that what you're telling me? So I'm going to do that and not the dick thing.
That's scary.
Yeah. I have a lot of knots too. I just bought like one of those canes. You ever use those?
Yep. That's why you were like, is this the answer to my troubles?
Yeah. Well, the only other time I've heard tongue tie is that song "Tongue Tied" by Group Love. You know that song? I like that song. Yeah.
Pink Floyd has a lyric.
They're talking about a different thing.
Pink Floyd lyric?
Tongue tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit.
Which song? Sounds
Learning to Fly.
Is that old? Is that like one of the or?
No, it's like 80s Floyd.
Oh, okay, so like what's it?
Might even be 90s.
Yeah, like Division Bell or something.
Something like that. Momentary Lapse in Reason.
Top 10 favorite Floyd albums. Go.
Don't do that. No, actually, sorry. Don't do that.
All right. If we had to pick one Floyd album to take on an airplane for the rest of our lives, which one would it be?
Wait a minute. Do you mean every time we fly, that's the only album we can listen to? Yeah. Or we're getting in an airplane for the rest of our lives and we have to listen to that song on repeat until we die? Album, or crash?
Yeah, or crash.
Oh, that's a very different question.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to up it because
those are two different questions.
I like the idea of you go up in the flight, you put it on the record, you only have that whole album to live, and then you crash at the end of that album.
Oh, shit.
So what album would you... And was your story done even?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not really a field trip.
It was. I said that in the beginning.
But that's... I know. I thought it was going to be a little tangent.
No, nothing. No, it was just a story I wanted to see if it was funny before I tell it on stage.
Just the whole point of the podcast is to...
Yeah, to know what guest is coming on before we turn the cameras on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, give us a couple of days to come up with a fucking story.
Do you have an album?
Keep telling.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Here's for me, I have such a weird relationship with music.
Who? I don't think Gabe's a big Pink Floyd guy.
No,
we'll get him.
I'm not a Pink Floyd guy. I enjoy their music, but I have such a weird relationship with music because for the first 20 or so years of my life, like the entire time I lived at home, the level of strict religious shit that I grew up in, we weren't allowed to listen to secular music at all.
That's a little light of mine.
Exclusively like the local Christian radio station, like that's all I got to listen to. So I didn't get to develop a desire for and a taste for music until I was already an adult. And it's a different relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like the music that you hear when you're young in those developing ages really sticks with you in a different way because it helps define you. But like my introduction to music that I actually liked happened so late that I don't have the same attachment to music. Oh, I'm in my 20s before I started actually listening to music because I wanted to, not just because it was the only thing I had.
I didn't listen to any real music until like senior year of high school and then throughout college because I was just listening to like musicals, like only musicals.
One of our stories is gayer than the other.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I always constantly bring up is like how musicals, probably not to you guys, but musicals are really cool now in pop culture. Like they've surfaced.
Probably
you didn't sound convinced when you said that.
No, but
really cool now, guys.
They're cool, and
not to you guys. But they're like people who had good fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Hamilton really changed.
That, like, awakened.
That one was on purpose. I liked it.
Yeah. I don't know. And so now I just have this, like...
No.
I pushed...
High School Musical is what made it okay.
Sure. I loved that movie.
I mean, yeah, it really did.
All that down and started liking, like, alternative music in high school. So, like, I kind of get, like, coming late to things. And you have a lot of catching up to do. But isn't it funny? I mean, for me, like right now I'm in the 80s, like alternative new wave scene. Like that's kind of what my music taste is.
Oh, cool.
Like, we all explore different like in college it was mostly 70s and 60s stuff and like
my favorite album of that like genre and period would be In Excess Kick.
Okay.
You should fucking listen to it.
Yeah, I'll listen to it for sure. It's
good.
So anyway, what's your story?
I don't know if I have a field trip story, but I have an ISS story.
Oh, cool.
Well, also, your story wasn't that... I mean, come on. The field trip was barely a part of it. Your story is more of a tale of a fucking girl that wanted to sleep with you and you didn't.
Mm-hmm. And so instead, she slept with everyone else on camera.
Yeah. You could have fucking changed that girl's life. You could have been her guardian angel.
You're right.
And now look at her. That's somebody's daughter. And she could be the mother of your daughter.
I've tried. Trust me.
But now, think about how many more daddies she has. You know what I'm saying? So, like, did you do her a favor?
Yeah.
Oh, we should get some porn stars on the podcast, by the way.
For sure.
Great.
Nick's gonna sit outside the room with with the thing.
I'm too pure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too pure for this.
Sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm too impure for this. Yeah. I'm gonna have to wear a cup that day. Just I definitely can't wear these shorts. We're talking porn.
You're literally asking for it. No shorts.
Anyway, what's your ISS story?
Stupid. That's so stupid. One time in ISS, I got my teeth pulled by a girl that had a crush on me.
What? Wait, this is a combination of our two stories. See, okay, here's the thing you should know about me, everyone. I'm a very... Some would call me gullible, but I'm more of a trusting person. So I just trusted you, and you abuse that trust, I assume. Unless that's a true story. In which case, I guess baloney. You go on.
The look that you just gave me when he said, but go on. Alright, hope don't bite your lip. This is his kink. This is how he gets off. Yeah. He's like, I'm prude. No, fucking with his friends is how he gets his little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you know when you're getting pool sharked and the guy comes in and he's like, "Oh, I've never done this before." Like he's podcast sharking us. That's what's happening. Yeah. I've never been a guest before, and then he just comes in and fucking takes over.
I'm manipulating. Yeah, I mean, like when you talk. I mean, I'm a good interviewer person. I'm not necessarily a great guest, but like I know how to direct.
Yeah,
things,
we noticed.
You know exactly. Yeah. I mean, who knows what even the cameras are going to look like. I'm forgetting every moment and now I'm just pressing buttons. But anyway, that's kind of a fun thing.
That's going to be a fun little...
Just really like to
seize your shots.
So anyway, is this a true story or are you fucking with me?
That's not his real story.
That's not the story that I'm telling. That's not the story I would tell.
I mean, that is a true story, but that's not the one.
Yeah, well, they're completely
a story for another day.
Unrelated to the stories that you guys told.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I tell the story of how I lose my virginity.
Yeah.
Is that really? In ISS?
In ISS. The girl that pulled my tooth.
That wasn't all she pulled.
So
Hey-o.
Did you get a tooth pulled because you were losing teeth? Or is this true? What the fuck?
Like,
Yeah, like you
pulled on my tooth
and she pulled it out.
Yeah. She just like grabbed me by my jaw.
Okay. So you weren't fucking with me. You're telling me the truth. Unless you're taking advantage of me again. I told you, I'm a trusting person.
Here's the problem. What you think you're doing is asking us not to take advantage of you. What you're actually doing is begging us to keep doing it.
Do you have $20 I can borrow?
$20? No.
It's for groceries.
Oh, I shouldn't have gone to the dentist. I should have just gotten some crack and fucking aimed the pipe at that tooth I wanted to get rid of.
Yeah, but crack's not your drug of choice. If you were gonna do it, do it with meth. Meth might be faster, honestly.
It's true. Meth does get the teeth.
And here's the thing: you'll have the energy and be able to.
If that doesn't do it, I'll definitely be jacked up enough to just pull that motherfucker out myself.
No shit. Yeah. That will be the stereo you're trying to rewire is your tooth. It's just you and a pair of pliers.
I think I can put it back together. Put that motherfucker back in there.
I watched a buddy chip a glass Sobe bottle, just on Adderall to turn it into a Grav bottle. Just one hole, so it would be the one waterfall. But he spent all night on Adderall, a glass bottle. I don't know if it was a Sobe bottle.
But that's for the story. That's excellent.
But the Adderall, but same as meth. And spent all night, and that's so that that you and that with just a pair of pliers and just the slightest wiggle. And you're fucking so high on meth you can feel every nerve from your brain down your shoulder into the tip of your fingers across your fingernails. You can feel the space.
He's reading his own
between.
Magazine. That's how disconnected he is from our experience.
He's doing a bit. It's funny.
I'm just doing a little thing called comedy.
Oh.
Stupid.
All right.
Guys, pick up the sidecar Junkaroo on Instagram, junkaroo.mag. That was I liked what you guys were doing there.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I just wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
No, I liked it though. I liked the way that you did the
way that he wasn't a part of it.
And he pulled the magazine up. That's fun. I like how the middle cover is Nether Hour. That's smart.
Baby.
Hey, I know them.
That's actually a podcast I do called Only the Fool Would Say That.
Oh. We'll talk about that more later.
When we're not on the podcast you're currently doing, which is ours.
Yeah.
We'll put the links to all those podcasts down in the bottom along.
Because apparently he's got 19 of them.
Yeah.
No, when I'm doing timestamps, I'll take note of the links that we need to put.
Yeah.
I want to put Leonarda's video in the links too, in the description.
Everyone's stuff, so
To that
we can
reel.
watch everyone's content.
Fucking find it, dude. Cite your material, bro. Cite your podcasts. What are your sources?
What are your sources?
What are your fucking sources?
If you asked comics that, they'd be like, 2 Beers, 1 Cave, Joe Rogan. What else? What are else of the goats?
Russell Brand.
Comtown, Russell Brand. Do you guys listen to Comtown?
No.
No. I just devoted to Comtown.
Same, yeah.
I like it now. I think it's hilarious, but now it's over. So
Yeah.
it's not really fun to not be a part of.
Oh, is it all the way over now?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. But they're doing something else. They're doing some other cool stuff. The Adam Friedland show.
You've never been in ISS and dude, the ISS teacher was. Man, I was such an asshole in middle school. I was that kid. Oh my God, yes. I got in trouble for so much stuff.
Yeah.
And you can figure out which things were the lies and which things were. I got put in ISS one time and we stuffed a bunch of pencils and pens and papers and all sorts of just debris into the office copying machine.
Oh, just jamming shit in there?
Jamming shit in every orifice of the copy machine.
Yeah.
It was expensive. 2 kids. It was myself and another kid. And I was like a 6th or 7th grader and he was an 8th grader.
I like printers, and that story affects me.
He lived in a shed not long after that.
Wow.
He was a shed people.
That makes sense.
On what's our property? Like woods?
Just suburbs. Just lower middle class suburbs. Let's see. What else did we do?
So wait, so you're just kind of doing a rapid fire stories that of ISS? Is that an empty guess? Are they all fake or maybe all truthful?
That's literally your job to figure that out.
I'm just wondering how I'm basing it off.
You're the producer of the podcast. If you don't know the rules by now.
2.5 Stoney, 0.5 baloney. If you tell me 3 of them. Or actually, I guess that'd be 6.
All right, I'll tell 3. So there's the copiers. I got put in the office so many fucking times.
Yeah.
What else? Dude, I got put in ISS. So, all right, this is true. I got put in,
makes my job really
I could be.
Unless you just say that, you be like, "This is true," and then you go into some bullshit story.
Yes.
I could be doing it.
Yeah, you could.
No, he's not dating
I know,
you.
but you definitely not.
This is true. I got put in ISS so much and was such a fucking asshole in ISS. Because I was, the thing to do in ISS is talk to each other, and you just keep doing the same thing you were already doing in class and getting in trouble for, which is, so you just do that in ISS.
Because it's just a bunch of other kids who are down to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Why would you put us all together?
I did that so much that they put me in that instead of ISS, they would put me into the room with the retarded kids.
Are you sure that's why?
Yeah, honestly, probably. I mean, they didn't want to, it's not like they're trying to punish you, because if they did that, that's really fucked up. Right?
Wouldn't that be weird to do the retarded kid, though? All right, let's stick with ISS first, though, a bunch of times.
Well, I was too tall to be in ISS, so they just put me in special classes. Is that what they told you, Scott?
Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
That's 2.
That
one sounds true, but mostly just because it's
That's so good. There was another time.
Oh, sorry.
There was another time that I sold weed to the 2 girls that were basically the girl that you were talking about. They were the troublemaker girls. They got put in alternative school.
Oh, shit.
That's
always fun.
And I got put in alternative school in high school. They did in middle school.
That's early.
And it was the alternative school in our school district for the middle schoolers was it was the old bomb shelter. It was the town bomb shelter, because the middle school was the high school when my dad went to high school.
Oh.
Right, for the 60s and 70s, and it was the only high school in town for years. Right, it was the first high school in town. They had a bomb shelter out there. That was the fucking alternative school, and these 2 girls got caught smoking weed that they got from me in ISS.
Nice.
Yeah, and they got caught smoking it in the bathroom, and they got put in alternative school.
I just remember some color about the girl of my story. There was one time in history class when we...
I assumed by the name.
What? Some color? No. She was not. She was white. Although, no, she has to have some, because her last name is something Latino. So, yeah, I guess she must be. She's very pale, though, so she must have been Spanish or something.
Argentinian.
Or Argentinian, or what else? What other races could we, or countries? What's that one? I don't know. Sounds like Honduras.
Oh, is Honduras very white?
I think so.
Is it?
Guatemala, Honduras,
Guatemala, Peru. What else?
El Salvador.
More. Salvador. That's a really cool country's name.
Dude, I want pupusas now.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of countries, we were in history
I used to
class.
date this cunt.
We were in history class.
Her
and
name
this
was
girl,
Trey.
Dacia, was in the class, and the teacher's like, "All right, name 7. We're gonna name the 7 continents." And she just not been paying attention, and someone was like, "Oh, Europe, this one," and then Nick can't think of another continent.
She was doing this thing I'm doing right now.
And he's like, "Dacia, answer," and then she goes, "China."
Yeah.
We all we're just terrible middle schoolers to her, like, of course. Be like, you fucking idiot.
She knew she was growing, like,
Or maybe she knew she was 100% wrong. She didn't give a fuck.
That's true,
Also,
too.
You know?
She probably knew all the answers. I was just like, I don't care. But alright, so Gabe, I told 3.
Oh, that was your 3? Wait, you had the one with the 2 girls, and then the oh yeah, the one. Okay, yeah. All right. I think they're all. I guess.
2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
We're playing 2 truths and a lie. Gabe is playing. I have a new bit that I'm working on.
Oh, one
and
of them
we
was a lie.
we did this podcast last minute, so this is what I'm doing. I'm not mad. I wasn't trying to put you down.
I know. It's just Gabe's playing. I got this new bit I'm trying to work out.
That's what this podcast.
That's what this podcast is. Yes, Scott. I wanted to try out some new bits.
I wasn't. I know, but it was a bit that was like out of. It didn't fit the theme. I have this bit that doesn't fit the theme that I'm trying to work out.
Yes.
There.
At least
Are you
Scott's calling
fucking
you out
happy
too.
now, Gabe? Clip this, you fucking piece of poopy.
Clips. So I have to guess. Where are you going?
No, I'm sitting up.
Stand up. Are you in frame? No, your brows out of frame. We gotta lean down. If we want you, we'll have to plan for that next time. If you want to sit up. I thought you were more of a slouching kind of guy.
I am a sloucher,
Yeah.
especially when I'm stoned as fuck.
Yeah, you look good. So do you want to tell our listeners what I have to do now?
Yeah, so this is the part where you normally, when we're in the normal format, we didn't do a podcast last minute. Thank you so much for
you're
jumping in
welcome.
Also,
and substituting.
yes, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for making it worth bringing this equipment here.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you for making it worth bringing this equipment here.
Yeah.
You're the guest that made it worth bringing the equipment here.
Well, thank you.
What do you mean?
Well, thanks.
And you've been sitting here producing it the entire time that you do it? We're trying not to get hard, talking about the girl choking you. You've been fucking... See? Mm-hmm. That's a
That
noise.
was that was like, it seems...
That took him back.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
You
wait,
Freudian
so, like,
slip sexualized your mother when you were talking about the porn star girl?
Of course we have like all these incredible stories of like high school, middle school, but because I'm the guest on the podcast, I guess I get to like play this trump card and be like, guys, these crazy things happened during my high school time or middle school. So like, did anyone ever like say anything over the intercom? Like anyone ever be like, shh, like I'm playing a prank over the intercom kind of thing? They ever do that? We had it happen twice in one day, and it was incredible.
Not in the little schools that I went to. No, yeah.
We had a girl write a note to another girl that they dropped in the hallway.
Yeah.
That was it was right after the Virginia Tech massacre, and they were talking about how they wanted the school, like they wanted something like that to happen at our school.
Wow. Wait,
And nothing like they never, you know.
They weren't saying like they weren't planning it. They were just like, I wish somebody would kill these people we don't like.
the equivalent of like a tweet.
I don't know if how much of a. Because that was before they started taking that shit really, really seriously too. That was right when it happened. So I think I don't know how much of it was like we wish that this would happen, or how much of it was like conspiracy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But like now, if that happened, but yeah, they fucking.
Oh, that would be terroristic threats. Yeah.
And that was a day that I showed up to school late, stoned, and the entire building is like surrounded by fucking cops.
Shit.
The entire building is surrounded by cops.
Right? Yeah, you showed up and you're like, did I leave something in my... Oh, no. That's a lot of cops. Fucking.
And dogs.
Did my dad leave something in my
dogs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dogs are the worst ones in high school. Yeah, they mean something.
Yeah.
So in I think this was like 7th or maybe even 6th grade, but like someone like went over the intercom and like in the morning they said boner, and that was really fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't even think I really knew what a boner was. Maybe in 6th grade, like I knew like I was a very like I took things to mean like a penis is hard. Like that is the lot. That was the words that mean this. I didn't understand all like there's
the
like,
jargon,
stiffy, and you know there's all this language like with fucking boners and stuff, right? I didn't know that condoms were also called
a lot of dick lingo.
rubbers. Like when I was
Jimmy
in
Hens?
6th grade or whatever. the kids were like, Nick, you should ask the teacher what a condom is. And I was like, do you mean like a condominium? Like, what do you like? I know what a condominium, but I knew what a rubber was. But I didn't know it was called a condom. So it's like, but like you're very targeted as a, like you don't know something, you're out of the joke, right? Not that it was like really bullying, but more so like, fuck, I'm vulnerable now.
Yes, and vulnerability at that stage of life, any vulnerability is going to be exploited for sure. Yeah. Kids are.
But that was funny.
Pickers.
And they said boner on the intercom, and that was a really good day. And then later that day, someone else.
It won't really set the mood for the day.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you kidding me?
Boner. Oh, it's some Beavis and Butthead level fucking tomfoolery. But it's so perfect.
It's
That's
good.
the level of tomfoolery you need at that level.
And then later in the day, it came on again. Someone else got on the intercom, and they go, "Shh, anyone wants a free hand job? Go to Mr. Sweet's office."
Yes.
And he was our vice principal.
Yeah, that's a winner.
That one.
Did y'all have cameras at the school?
Yes, probably some, but I don't know. Probably not.
They started putting cameras in schools in like middle school, I think.
Good.
Is for me. So by the time I got to high school, you know what I mean, they were already fully fucking armed everywhere, right?
I think I would actually love being in charge of the cameras at a school, because I'd be like, yeah, this guy was justifiably in the wrong. He threw the first, like, I would love being that little shit and like being like, this is justice and I'm doing its job.
Are you a do-gooder?
I think I'd like to do more good, yeah, for sure. I'd like to do more good than harm.
You're gonna start flying surveillance drones for the police. Well, they don't need you to fly it. They're
the whole thing, right?
programming AI to fly that right now.
I can see how that's like being a buzzkill, you know. But I don't want to be a buzzkill.
A real buzzkill.
I want to be. I'm like the kind of. I'm a good kid. I was a good kid. What, like for like prom, I could have lied to my dad and like been like, oh yeah, we're staying over just like my friend's house, or we're gonna go into a hotel instead. But I told my dad like, yeah, my friends are going to a hotel, and like, should I go? Should I do it? Like, my dad's like, probably not. There's gonna be alcohol there, and like my dad's always like, you know, he's prepared for the worst kind of thing, but that's no fun, you know. So, you know.
Yeah. Different upbringing over
here. Yeah.
It all has its positives and its negatives, and just because something from the outside looks.
Yeah, for sure. There's different aspects of all of it.
It's really a nuanced topic, like you said.
Right.
You know.
There's people, you know, Gabe and I grew up in poverty for the most part, but there's people who grew up with all the privileges, but never got any time or attention or anything. You know what I mean?
Right. I grew up.
Even though the time and attention you and I got was
not good.
Was not good time and attention. But you like know what I'm saying. So there's so many different nuances to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't just privileges come with different lifestyles, and everybody has different parenting methods. But yeah,
it's really
that has different pressures too. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of different pressures with that. You know, you don't want to disappoint your dad.
Yeah.
Probably even more of a pressure when it's your dad is actually someone who's worth a fuck that you love.
That you would want to impress.
That you would want to emulate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or that you're lucky enough.
I mean, I think, is that what it's like?
Yeah, you know.
Is that what it's like? What's it like?
It's a little bit like when you get an extra scoop of ice cream.
Huh?
And you're
Got
like,
it.
wow, I didn't know.
So it's different than if you can't afford even one scoop of ice cream.
But then it melts, and you're like, oh wait, it's all shit.
Oh, got it.
No, it's all great.
It's a perfect analogy.
You just gotta eat it quick enough.
Which is why I'm getting my tongue clipped.
So
if my 3 stories were 3 scoops of ice cream, and 2 of them were truths and 1 was a lie, which one would melt because it's the lie?
Wow, that was a lot. I mean, I followed it.
It was the girls' weed that won. The last one.
You think that's a lie?
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
What do you think?
That's not my job, Scott. Why are you putting me on this?
Fucking hey, things are different today, buddy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
think they were all 3 true.
You think they were all 3 true?
Wait, that can be an option? I thought it was 2 truths.
No, we were playing 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, it is 2 truths and a lie?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay, then.
You were like, yeah, fucking got you, Nick. It's all 3.
I'm going to do the second one. Because I don't believe that's the reason you were in the retarded classes.
Oh. So you're half right. That wasn't the reason I was in the retarded classes, and you're right.
Ayo.
I did not sell those girls weed, but Brittany and Bethany definitely got in trouble for smoking weed in middle school, and that was a big like.
My boy's not that dumb. I fucking knew you wouldn't pull a rookie mistake like that.
Yeah. But I got put in the retarded classes instead of ISS because the family that lived across the street from me, Pete's cousin, right? His mom, that was like the church family that I went to church with and that I would go stay with when my dad got put in jail and shit like that. That was my babysitter after school for years, and his mom became like the special ed teacher at the middle school. She was like a lunch lady or just like a lunchroom attendant.
Interesting.
And then she became special ed teacher. And so when I fucked up in ISS so many times, they got to a point where they would just stick me with Miss Penny.
Oh, they were like, she can deal with you.
Yeah, she told them, put in with me. Nice. And here's the thing is, you can't fuck with the retarded kids. You can't like, first of all, I have a good heart, right? I'm not, I've always had a special, in elementary school before I was like a really like bad kid.
I don't think you were in there because your heart is special.
All right, it's been nice having you. Hey, Nick.
Thanks for having me. I need to guess about yours. I think you told the truth.
I mean, I had a tooth pulled, but the rest of that was not true.
What, the tongue stuff?
All of it.
It's
yeah,
all
I made
fake?
it all up.
It doesn't exist?
No, that exists, but none of that.
You're not going to pay for it?
No, of course I am. But I just found that out on the internet. Yeah, none of that happened with the dentist.
So you never told your dentist this would make my pussy eating skills better?
No, I didn't.
Way to shape that into a story. That's smart. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it was true. That's like the tough thing.
I wish it was a shorter story.
Well, no, that's what I said. I said I wish it was true. No,
hurtful.
That's okay. This happens to me with me and comics who are storytellers or whatever. It's unfortunate. It's like you are all good at it and you add little flair to it, which I understand you do, but I wish that little flair was true. I was like, oh damn, just tell me without the flair, and I bet I'll still be able to. I'll still be just as impressed.
No, you wouldn't. That's why I do it the way that I do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You told it
because the difference is the audience. I don't ever tell them the truth.
Yeah.
So they get to just believe that it was true.
The way that you told it though was like because you and I watch each other. We've seen each other perform a lot, and we FaceTime when we masturbate. So we've watched each other
Exactly,
and we've washed each other.
Yes.
Both of sin.
Not like we're in different places FaceTiming. Like when we masturbate,
it's back to back.
We like to FaceTime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wash each other of sin as baptized in the blood of Christ. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You baptized in the blood of Christ? That'd be rock and roll as fuck, actually. Dude, I think you could get a lot of people to join Christianity if
there
you
was
just
more blood.
If you just change that. If you just change that one thing. If you're like, hey, baptized in the blood of Christ, they'd be like, okay.
What about baptized in the pee of Christ?
Oh, that's sacrilege.
That's the cult.
That I don't even know if Jesus had to have peed.
That's Arsenio. Arsenio did that. That's Arsenio's thing.
What?
Arsenio did that. That was Arsenio's thing. Like, give me some.
Well, thanks for having me.
You a religious feller?
Oh, I was raised it.
Oh yeah, the Catholic. That's
raised, right. What's that? What's raising?
Indoctrinated in guilt.
In Catholicism.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a tricky. Religion is fucking. It's a tricky thing, but it makes you feel better sometimes.
It's weird because
scenario it gives you peace.
At this stage in my life, I can see its value.
Yeah.
Like for the people who it is valuable.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that I'm like, not only are you better off, but the world around you is better off if you just believe that.
Right. Yeah.
Some people need structure like that to be a good person.
It's a form of structure. I mean, yeah.
But I don't have the ability to suspend my knowledge of reality to play the game.
Oh man. I wanna.
Same.
Guys, you write in the comments. Should we convert?
You know what's funny? I've actually talked to
DMT
Lord
with
about
both
this.
of you guys, man. That'll be great.
I have thought about like joining a super like Roman Catholic, or you know what I'm saying, something that's like
It's cool.
or like a Hasidic Jewish like sect, like something that's super strict and detailed, but like not believe any of it, but just do the.
You'd fall into it, I think, though.
I don't think so. At this point in my life, I don't think I would. But it would be interesting to have that structure again, because I know that that's good for a human being to have. Like, it can benefit you a lot in just getting things done to have a very strict, like,
why don't you
rigid
do the Muslim then?
Also, same. And any of those that has a super intense.
Takes a lot of discipline.
You have to do these certain things. It's a very disciplined. That's ultimately is what the value I would see in is the discipline that comes from it.
It's
self-control.
It's like one of the few things now that you can also, depending on the church, if you go to one that's made out of like stone and shit and like looks older, it's one of the few things that looks and reminds you of like a different time, and it's like very separate from everything else.
Yes.
And that's very cool. I mean, you're in fucking pews singing like very like I don't know how you describe the hymn, but a hymn that's like that's
the pageantry of it definitely connects to like
it's so old.
Yeah.
That's cool almost. But there is obviously all the negative parts about it, and sin at the hands of angry gods, witch trials.
And the fact that none of it's true.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
Could be.
You know.
Yeah. You know, I guess I'm an agnostic then, but
I like to. I definitely don't consider myself an atheist because that's just another. It's the same thing. It's just another group of rules that you have to live by, and I'm like, that's.
Do you believe in intelligent design though? Spiritual nature of the golden ratio.
I don't know.
Spiritual nature. Do you like deja vu, synchronicity? Or do you think it's all just like random fate, destiny, any of those concepts?
I don't know. I don't have any concrete proof of any of those things. I don't disbelieve them.
But since you don't,
but I am no longer a person that accepts or believes things that I cannot fully compute, and that I cannot break down to the questions I would have about it and find the answers. You know what I'm saying? If there's anything that I'm like, well, could this part be bullshit? I can't just like believe it. And it's just because because of the religious I fell abuse. So hard for it. Sure. Like I really believed Christianity like on a deep, crazy level. Like when my mom died, I thought she was just going to come back to life. Like I really believed that shit. Like it was very unhealthy. But again, because I was so far in it, somebody who wasn't as far in it probably wouldn't have had the full 180 that I've had, because it's easier to just like, if you're just dabbling in it. But because I believed it so wholeheartedly, when it all became clear that the things I believed were not true, it was a foundational thing, and now I'm not like I can't do that anymore. Like it's which is why I can't have as much fun with conspiracy theories as I used to.
Yeah. I had another thought, but it's lost forever.
Well, thanks for doing the podcast, Nick. It's been great having you.
Thanks for having me.
Go ahead and plug all 9 of your things.
Check out.
It's been great talking about God for the last 9 minutes. It's been a good job.
Yeah, man. You know the song "Shout to the Lord"? That is a banger.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, I still no. You know what's funny?
Like Christian rock.
Christian
music really, but that one for some reason that's like very musical.
Did you know that
I will still listen
temples
to
and cathedrals and churches are at least meant to, obviously, be built in a certain way that there's a certain resonance in them. There's a certain resonance and vibration.
Yeah.
Because part of the experience is like it's each other. It's being in that
sure.
community and emitting that vibration with that intention or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And hearing it and feeling it back.
I've been high a couple times for church, and that is a cool thing for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's
again,
super
it really
powerful.
Because then you go to like stuffy like places that are like maybe they're big, but they look like 1980s design. You know, it's not Gothic architecture. Anyway, that's all to say, church is cool, but just the right one. You know.
Yeah.
No, you gotta find the right.
Well, unless you've been religiously abused, and you know.
Well, actually, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's kind of. Like,
yeah, I couldn't disagree more. I don't think church is cool in the slightest. But
no, I was just thinking like it's very similar to like being like Michael Jackson or like all these artists or whatever who do like the church did so much shit.
Okay, no.
Did so much bad shit. You know?
The church and Michael Jackson do have a lot of parallels.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If by the church you mean the Catholic Church,
the
and
Catholic church. The what's it? What's the friggin'
Protestant?
Pentecostal.
Yeah, but what was King?
Oh no, yeah, Protestant. Yeah, that's the other.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, 9. Sidecar Junkaroo. Check out Absurd Junk. Check out Osbo Coalition. Check out the High Noon podcast. Check out Stoney Baloney podcast. Check out the pregame with Winston Shaw coming out soon. Check out Osbo Coalition. Did I already say that one? Check out Osbo Coalition. Check out Only People Would Say That. You can find that in the Sidecar Junkaroo's latest issue, and also on Spotify and all that crap. I got all this stuff I've been making and trying to give to you all, and I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it. But I had fun.
It's all worth it.
I know.
You're worth it.
So yeah, enjoy it. That was a 9.
Enjoy the trip.
To it. Yeah, follow me, but more importantly, do you.
Yeah, follow yourself. Be the leader of your own tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check
Or
out these guys' stuff.
join our cult.
We'll join our.
You know what I'm saying? Like one or the other.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Note these
Basically,
days.
what we're saying is
No, there's two of us. It's
You
two
have-
note.
Okay, two note.
two options.
His dick or my dick.
Hey, I should ask people about this. I'm thinking about growing like my unibrow out.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that's bold?
Ooh, that's
Here's the thing. If you keep
very-
wearing those glasses
Yeah.
and you could like get it to like, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty
Oh, shit,
fucking.
like a Hunger Games stuff.
to be good grapes.
Ooh.
Well, thanks for
Of
coming on,
wrath.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of only having a mustache. Everyone has a mustache now, you know?
Yeah, that happened all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's because my generation all grew beards. So there's got to be a separation.
Yeah. I guess so, and we're in it.